Welcome to the Low Carb Athlete Podcast, where we focus on discussing topics to help you burn fat, optimize health, and improve performance in life and sports. Transform the whole you from the inside out with the WHOLESTIC Method. Let's dive in. Here's your host, Debbie Potts.
Hello, my favorite low-carb aging athletes. I just wanted to share with you a special coupon code that I have from one of my favorite supplements, BioOptimizers. BioOptimizers has some great products that I often recommend to my health coaching clients based on their nutritional therapy analysis and their functional labs and food log symptoms that we look at. And a few of those are from BioOptimizers called HCl Breakthrough, Gluten Guardian, Magnesium Breakthrough, Capex, and their Masszymes enzymes, which is the strongest enzyme formula ever. And it has 5 different kinds of protease. Often we don't digest our food properly. So we are what we eat, but we also are what we can properly break down and absorb. So learn more from BioOptimizers. Check out their website and use our code LowCarbAthlete next time you go to purchase something. Enjoy. Hey everyone, it is Debbie Potts, and I'm going to do another one of my solo casts. And I'm going to share my screen here so we can discuss the 3 phases of my 30-day fat adaptation program that I've done over the last 10 years. But I just want to do a podcast on it because I think a lot of people struggle trying to figure out what to eat, when, why, how. So let's go through what I call the WHOLESTIC Method. And hopefully this can answer some of your questions, but be sure to message me at debbiepotts.net for a free discovery call or just question or comment, something you want me to add in a future solo cast, because I'm going to try to do at least one podcast a month towards the end of the month, beginning of the month, for you to answer some of these common questions or things that I hear and see people have questions on, struggles with, areas of opportunity. So with that, today I'm going to go through what I call a total transformation program. Phase 1 is a 5-day jumpstart where we work on just cleaning up everything and just dive right into eating one solid meal a day and then doing a lot of bone broth and liquid and let your digestive system start to take a break. Now, phase 2 could be phase 1, but I just kind of found over the years doing this that just starting people just jump right in 5 days, go at it. And then phase 2, we go into the 21-day fat burning reset, 21-day type of sugar detox. Then phase 3 is maintenance. How do we keep doing this ongoing? Like I have a lot of private VIP coaching clients I've worked with 6 months or longer, and we are always working on our relationships with food because it's not so easy just to switch to eating nutrient dense whole foods, focusing on getting our protein in per meal. A lot of people struggle with carb addiction and eating due to stress. Maybe it's your microbiome that you're craving more sugars. And so I'm learning this from working with a variety of clients because everybody is so unique and different and our backgrounds are different. Maybe we've had, way we were raised, different things. Maybe it's something you have a lot of candida or probiotics in your lack of probiotics or imbalance. So this picture looks so old. If you're watching the slides, I'm doing presentations, PowerPoint presentations on my YouTube channel, Low Carb Athlete, where I put videos on every week. And just to go through who I am, I created the WHOLESTIC Method of training the whole athlete from the inside out over how many years now? It is 2022, nearing 2023 pretty quickly. And I've been doing this a long time. How long is long? Let's see. Well, I owned my fitness studio starting in 2010 and started running these 21-day programs back then, talking about coconut oil and all these different things about healthy fats before people understood the benefits, and talking about metabolic efficiency back in 2005, where I would do metabolic testing people on a treadmill or a bike or at rest using New Leaf metabolic testing cart that we used to do where I worked. And then I would do that on athletes. And since then, I've really learned a lot. And so that's kind of what I do the podcast for, and why I coach people full time doing this now, because there's so much individual elements of really figuring out what is best for you to feel your best, look your best, perform your best in life. So training and transforming the whole you from the inside out, I say to be a fat burning machine, is just not working on nutrition only. So the holistic method we go through is kind of the slide before here is nutrition, exercise, sleep, stress, movement throughout the day, digestion and gut health, hydration, and happiness. So a lot of that, maybe we start with your priorities are what you're eating and doing this 30-day type of reset. So I learned a lot from my own experience as a competitive athlete and high performing individual. I wrote a book called Life is Not a Race, It is a Journey, and created the holistic method based on my own experience, but more so the holistic method was based on me as a personal trainer for, over 25 years now, because now I'm 50. And I started doing this in college, running the fitness center in college, running programs, wellness challenges, all that. And from my experience as a competitive athlete, I started doing marathons in 1999. I started doing Danskin Olympic distance triathlon, or no, that was sprint in 95. But my first Ironman was 2001. And I competed until 2012, 2013. My life changed and I haven't been able to race since. So I did own a fitness studio 2010 until 2019. Thank you very much. Right before COVID, I did close my business. It was a chronic stress for me. It was a lot of work running my own business, as well as coaching people. I had a triathlon group, a run group, and I, lead classes all the time. We did TRX type of circuit training, and I did 30-minute small group personal training, and I did one-on-one. And then I gradually got massage and acupuncturist in one of my rooms. And then I had a infrared sauna, sunlight and sauna we had, and I did nutritional therapy. And so I did all this stuff, and it was great, but it was also a chronic stress for me. So what have I learned? You need to push pause and reset like we do to the computer all the time, reboot. And we need to do that to avoid what I call chronic stress disease. Stress impacts everything. Acute stress is great. You'll hear all the time about hormesis. Hormetic stress is that acute stress that we get stronger from. Just like best example is when you lift weights, you're breaking down your muscle and you get stronger when you recover and repair and rebuild. Same thing with chronic stress. If acute stressor is all the time, if I lifted weights every day, 3 times a day, I'm always breaking down. I'm never building back up. That becomes chronic. So my philosophy and mantra is more is not better. Less is more. Too much of anything can be toxic. Too little of anything can lead to deficiencies. Find your individual tipping point for your beaker of stress, your stress beaker. Too much of anything leads to an internal domino effect of imbalances from the inside out. We call metabolic chaos in our FDN practitioner group. Chronic anything is not usually a positive habit, right? So if we do anything too much, it doesn't give us that positive benefit anymore. So important thing I want to talk about, are you a sugar burner or a fat burner? I have this conversation a lot with my coaching clients, because we start often thinking we're healthy, like I did, years ago when I started to think outside the box way back, 2003 is 2022. That's scary. That's like 20 years ago I started doing this. So sugar burner, this is from my nutritional therapy practitioner coaching program or certification I did. Here we go. A sugar burner cannot access stored body fat for energy. A sugar burner uses dietary fat for energy, or do they? A sugar burner depends on burning kindling wood instead of long-lasting, slow-burning logs. A sugar burner will burn through glycogen stores quickly in exercise sessions. When you are insulin resistant, the cells of the body are impaired, transporting glucose into the cells to be used as energy. So then glucose is forced to go somewhere else, creating fat, lipolysis, and store fat. Signs and symptoms of a sugar burner. Here's what I go over with clients. How long do you feel full and satiated? Are you always hungry? Do you have difficulty losing fat weight? I never like to say losing weight because we don't want to lose muscle. We want to lose fat weight. Do you crave carbohydrates? Now, sugar burner, as I'm finding more about the microbiome, looking at people's GI map, or Genova Diagnostics has a GI 3-day stool sample we can do. But often craving carbohydrates isn't just you addicted to carbs. It is the gut bugs inside of you addicted to carbohydrates. So never before in mankind history have we had emergency need to lower blood sugar levels until we started overeating refined carbs and sugar. So we know all that. Are you a sugar burner or fat burner? Another notes are metabolisms are designed to be fueled by primarily fat and ketones for energy. Sorry, I got birds outside here. Fat burning is the normal and preferred metabolic state of the human body. Our culture has switched to rely on sugar for energy. Sugar burning metabolism turns off our fat burning metabolism. Now, I must add to this slide that metabolic flexibility is really what we're talking about these days, that you need to be dependent on fat metabolism, but we still need the ability to switch to carb metabolism. It doesn't mean that is bad. We need to be able to metabolize carbs and have flexibility shift back. If you are not metabolically flexible, you may be stuck either way. Okay, these crows drive me nuts. Get out of the tree. Eat fat to burn fat. Here we go. Stop being a sugar burner to lose weight. So break the sugar addiction and rest the digestive system. We want to reset metabolism by balancing our hormones so we learn how to burn fat. Stop being afraid of healthy fat stores. Learn how to eat real food based on our metabolic type. Eat lower carbohydrates and timing our macronutrients, timing our carbohydrates based on our workout schedule, and eating healthy fats and moderate protein. Now, this slide is a couple years old, and you'll know now this year, 2022, what is the hot topic? Protein. It's all about making sure you are prioritizing your protein and getting that 20, 30, 40, up to 50 grams of protein per meal. So if your ideal body weight is 125 pounds, if you're a little person, there's no way I wouldn't be alive if I was 125 pounds. I'm tall. So you need to have that much 125 grams of protein throughout the day in 3 meals with 3-4 hours in between. We don't want to be eating all day. We want to have meals and not snacking. So in my program that I created is having that good amount of protein and fat, but having the non-starchy vegetables. You have to earn the starchy carbs with your exercise. Having a protein shake. Ideally, we don't have powders, but I find a shake as with Equip beef protein unsweetened or Keon whey unsweetened is an effective way to get those essential amino acids and getting that protein in post workout, or when you're feeling hungry, but you don't want to have to digest food. As I had one yesterday, like at 4:00. I don't like to eat before bed. So that's when I can have a shake and get enough protein in without interrupting my sleep. So adding higher amounts of healthy fats to feel full. But I'm finding as I get older, I personally do better focusing on protein to feel full. So protein and fats to feel full, adding in avocado, fish, olives, nut butter. I was doing chia seeds, but Paul Saladino is ruining my chia seed pudding But I think if you properly prepare, soak things and prepare them right, some people can tolerate nuts and seeds and legumes. So we look at that preparation of foods. And we want to look at something as NutriSense, Keto Mojo to balance our blood sugar, balancing insulin, which we'll talk about a lot on this show lately because it's driving me nuts. The doctors do not test insulin when you do your regular comprehensive, and it's not so comprehensive, blood chemistry panel covered by insurance. The doctors do not do insulin. And I've been really working hard at this new doctor I'm seeing to get insulin. She would not test it, even though she was pretty cool about doing my thyroid, but insulin, they would not test unless I had a family history of diabetes. And if my A1C was high, which was surprisingly higher than I wanted it, but it wasn't in the doctor's ranges. So you really, 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 really need to get your blood chemistry and work with an FDN practitioner or someone that can see your lab results in our optimal ranges that we use, a spreadsheet for functional medicine. That is ideal. And I think looking at being preventative, there's no way I should not get my insulin tested until I'm already type 2 diabetic. It's absolutely absurd. It drives me crazy. And we need to be doing lab testing and doing your annual checkup with your doctor. But I think Ulta labs or direct labs, DHA labs, there are ways that you can go be proactive and take ownership of your health and look at your labs now, because the doctor just wants to wait until you're already sick. We want to not get insulin resistance, not get type 2 diabetes. And remember, I got insulin resistant and have probably higher than optimal levels of glucose. My A1C was a little higher because of my history of chronic stress. And I'm finding I still have signs based on eosinophils levels higher in my blood of a parasite. And they're so hard to eradicate. So I need to do another cell core. I'm going to do once a month during the full moon and do this new cell core parasite protocol during the full moon each month. Now, you don't know unless you test what's going on. So I think it's important to test and not guess, because that can be a culprit of raising your blood sugar all the time, having a chronic internal stressor, especially if you're looking at a NutriSense and your sugar is higher overnight. So anyways, what do I do in the 5-day jumpstart? So I start people, 20, 30 people in a group, and I do this with my one-on-one clients. So it's a little different one-on-one, but a nutritional therapy assessment. We do a health history form. And then basically what I look at metabolic typing questionnaire, and I have people prepare. So you can do this yourself if you don't want to do my programs, but detox your kitchen, your pantry, your workplace. Get rid of if you have candy in a jar, or if you have stuff in the freezer, stuff in the pantry, the fridge. Get your house detoxed of foods that are packaged, processed, inflammatory foods, your trigger foods that you're going to binge and overeat. Why do we have that stuff in the house? I don't buy things I know that are trigger foods. Like I love homemade cookies. I'm not going to make cookies unless special occasion, like at Christmas time, I'll make my low carb cookie, but I don't make it all the time, or I don't buy things because I know I'll overeat. I stay away from bread because I can't do wheat and gluten, but I'm not going to buy gluten-free bread because I know I will still want the whole loaf and it doesn't fill me up. So I avoid foods that I know that are trigger foods for me. I also have people do accountability log. Look at what we diet check record that we have for metabolic typing. How does food make you feel? Does your stomach feel bloated or gassy, or do you have a headache, or do you feel low energy and tired after you eat? Really paying attention to hour, 2 hours after you ate something. How is your energy? Happiness journal is really important. I have clients do a daily gratitude, 3 things or more that they're thankful for at night. Maybe set intentions for the next day, work on a positive programming. We also want to detox our life, our environment. So getting rid of the bad creams and lotions and makeup and household cleaning items that are toxic. So look in the EWG website and making sure, like, I use Meyer's cleaning products and I get the clean toothpaste and my makeup and everything is toxic free. So we really want to look at that, but also the people in your life. I got rid of people that were energy robbers, vampires. They suck the energy out of you. So really pay attention to who makes you thrive and happy, and then who just gets you just angry and stressed out, right? We don't want to be around those people. So if they're family, you can't get rid of them, but you can at least manage when you see them. So also exercise. We want to look at, say, Sunday, what is my workout schedule for the week? I know what my schedule is for work-wise. I don't do day of appointments as much as I can control, because I need to look at, here's my time. I'm going to go to the gym in the morning. If it's a run in the morning or a bike and then something at lunchtime, I need to move. I can't be on my computer all day. So I block time out of my schedule. So I take care of me, because then I'm a better person for everybody else. If I don't take care of me first and put the oxygen mask on first, I'm not happy, energetic, and able to focus either. So I need to take care of my health so I'm a better person to work with as a coach, as a wife, as a friend. All right, so back to handling blood sugar. Do you skip meals? Do you feel fatigued after meals? Do you crave sugar and sweets after you eat? Do you feel the need for stimulants as coffee after meals? Do you experience ongoing sugar cravings? Do you experience energy drop after lunch? Do you need stimulants after your meals? Are you fatigued after your meals? So similar but different. But if you have a high, low blood sugar, so you're hypoglycemic, or have you been like that for years and now you are becoming insulin resistant? So we want to look at how we handle sugar. How is our carb metabolism, and how is our pancreas working on releasing insulin, and how is our breaking down of foods, our enzymes? Now, compromised blood sugar levels can be, you can see on the slides, hypoglycemic symptoms, fatigue, insomnia, depression, infertility, slow metabolism, weight issues, endocrine issues, hormones. Insulin resistance can be also fatigue. You can't lose weight, depressed and mood disorders, thyroid issues, fertility, endocrine imbalances, so more hormone issues, slow to heal, premature aging, and memory failing. So it doesn't mean we need to be in strict ketosis, but the benefits of keto, or I prefer cyclical keto, once people are fat adapted, does give you that metabolic flexibility to depend on fat burning fuel first and liver carb metabolism for your backup engine. Now, here's some notes on what is keto. Now, if carbohydrates are available, your body will burn carbs first. So that's why we don't want to work out and have carbs first if we're doing a zone 2 workout. If we are doing a high intensity exercise, sometimes our performance will be elevated if we have a little carbs and we time them before a workout. But generally, if you're not exercising and you're just doing zone 2 workout where you should be burning fat, lower heart rate, now we want to burn fat, right? So not having those carbs. Ketosis, nutritional ketosis, involves restricting your diet to moderate protein, low to very low carbohydrates. Now, athletes are different. We don't need to go 20 grams, 50 grams. You could still maybe go 50 to 100 grams in cyclical keto after you're fat adapted, but looking at the right amount of fat, protein, and timing those carbs based on your activity level. And then females, their hormone cycle, that we add in, instead of doing 50 grams of carbs, for example, maybe you're doing 100 grams of carbs in your luteal phase and around ovulation. So you're improving the estrogen, progesterone hormones. Now, next here, when you are consuming enough protein to keep muscles happy, restricting carbs as low as possible, making up the rest of your calories and fat, the body switches to fat burning mode. Your liver will be converting fats into energy molecules known as ketone bodies, which the diet, I hate the word diet, comes from. People end up with more energy and vitality on a ketogenic diet, but also I would add in it is metabolic typing we want to look at. Some people do best can tolerate more carbohydrates than others. So we're looking at genetics. We'll do that in an upcoming podcast. Muscle cells are finally gaining energy instead of all the fuel getting stored away in fat cells because insulin is improved. So more insulin sensitivity. So you can look at keto chow is something that we have become friends from conferences, but that's a good option. That's information from their website. It's doing the keto chow shakes you can do and make them different recipes. Now, ideally, we want to eat real food. So when I'm doing my program with people, I have them focus on eating real food, grass-fed, free-range, wild-caught animal products, or people are more vegetarian, will find higher sources of protein, which is hard to get if you're vegan, but getting enough protein from good quality, clean sources, getting protein and fats, not doing dirty keto. I'm really worried about people getting too much of those not fake sugars, but erythritol and monk fruit and stevia, I think is in too much of things and we still crave sweetness. So I rather people get off the keto packaged foods and eat real food that gives you fullness and satiety so you lose that sugar craving. So having more protein and getting rid of the vegetable oils is really important too. Getting vitamins and minerals from our animal sources, so nutrient dense. If you do organ meats, which I don't do, I do Paleo Valley supplements instead for my organ meats, but getting nutrient dense whole foods that are in season is what we want to look at. So some people say 20, 30 grams of carbs, but I'm working with athletes, endurance athletes, so we can tolerate a little bit more. And if you're doing more high intensity workouts, more CrossFit type, more speed workout, then you can tolerate a little bit more than someone that's just doing zone 2 type of maffetone type of training. And getting enough electrolytes. So I do elements. So you can use our code low carb athlete for getting a discount and a free packet on your order from Element. But that's my electrolytes, sodium, potassium, others, sodium, potassium, magnesium. But you often I get dehydrated all the time. And when you're switching from keto, high carb, standard American diet to more of a lower carb, higher fat, higher protein, you may find the need to have more salty foods. So having more olives, if you do sardines, anchovies, pickles, bone broth, getting more salty foods and having more electrolytes in your water may be necessary. Some people say, hey, we don't need that much. Just focus on getting more salty foods and you should get enough. So that depends on you. I think the time of the year, how much you're sweating in your exercise sessions makes a difference too, which I'm going to take a sip because I put stuff in my water element, but I know if I don't, I go the TMI, but I'm open, share myself just because I know you relate. If I go potty all the time, I'm drinking that water, it comes in one end, out the other end. I'm still dehydrated. I'm not hydrating myself. So I hydrate more and go to the bathroom less if I put electrolytes in my water. So that's a good tip. If you're trying to drink, I'm drinking all the time, but I'm still dehydrated, we'll add some electrolytes to your water. So testing and not guessing, I say all the time, but Keto Mojo, there's BioCoach, there's BioSense, NutriSense. I think it's really beneficial. I always say you don't know what you don't know. So if we're just guessing all the time, what's going on in our gut? Do I have a parasite or not? Do I have yeast overgrowth? Do I have H. pylori, which can impact your ability to break down protein? So looking at functional lab testing, but also doing glucose testing, NutriSense, at least 30 days. Remember, the CGM is 14 days at once. So if you sign up for 30 days, you get 2 CGMs. If you do 60, you get 4. And then if you do the 90-day, so you can spread it out because you want to get a big picture. So testing, I suggest to all my clients. Now, everybody's different what keto means. I don't like the word keto anymore. I just think it's too trendy, catchy. I rather say eat a nutrient dense whole foods plan. If it's keto, carnivore, paleo, to me, that's all the same. Eating food that balances your blood sugar, makes you feel good. You're thriving every day. You're energetic in your workouts and you're sleeping well. we figured it out. But if you're struggling with those sugar cravings, you're still hungry all the time, we need to adjust those carbohydrates. So everyone's different, but eating real food, not eating the bagels and the croissants and the donuts, stuff like that, we want to avoid. And then once you get to maintenance, maybe you can have that once in a while, but you match it after an exercise session. Or if you're going to cheat, you're going to go exercise afterwards and lower that blood sugar. So remember, nutritional therapy, food is medicine. So eating whatever grass-fed protein we need, grass-fed beef. I use Butcher Box and Wild Pastures. That's a company from Paleo Valley. I'm not a big fan of chicken and turkey, game birds, poultry. I used to eat it all the time. Now I don't even want it. Which is a side note, listen to your body. I don't feel like having salads as much as I used to. I used to live on salads. Now I'm like, no thanks. So really dialing into your intuitive eating, intuitive fueling and training, I talk about with my clients, figuring out what does your body need. And it will tell you where you need to figure out your food. Ideally, having that, I need a donut, I need a croissant. That's not really listening to your body. That's listening to your cravings. So, getting your vegetables, if you want to have leafy vegetables, there's this information might be different nowadays. Leafy vegetables, salad greens, you have to, I think, alternate getting, more of the crucifix vegetables. I think it'd be better to focus on getting Brussels sprouts, cabbage. I like the coleslaw at Trader Joe's, cauliflower, celery. I like to have with sea salt on it, or put some goat cheese or nut butter. Having the vegetables, you have to be careful that they are not irritating your gut. So that's why people talk nowadays about carnivore or keto carnivore, that the vegetables, the lectins, the phytates, the oxalates, the FODMAPs, it's really complicated. So that's why people just do a gut reset and do 30-day carnivore and help heal and seal their gut by eliminating these inflammatory foods, because the seeds, the plant toxins, you heard from Dr. Grundy originally, but really learning that about your body. How does that food make you feel is what I give clients a little worksheet. Pay attention, or we can do a Vibrant Wellness Zoomer panel and really look at what's going on with that food you're eating and how your gut health is, doing a wheat Zoomer, doing a lectin Zoomer, doing dairy, doing corn, all those Zoomers we can do. Vibrant Wellness really helps identify, but there's, $400 there. So it's expensive, but you have to choose to eliminate them, do your own food test, or spend the money, test. Okay, for athletes, now to be keto adapted, here's some notes. This is 2018 article, Why Keto Diet May Benefit Some Athletes. So it may help endurance exercise because we're improving that fat mobilization and oxidation during exercise performance, help improve aerobic, anaerobic exercise capacity, help minimize the breakdown of lean body mass, increasing the body to maintain lean mass while burning fat is really important for body composition. So burning fat, maintaining lean. That's why I take Kion essential amino acids throughout the day in workouts that are longer. That's why I prioritize eating more protein and really nailing those protein goals each day throughout the day, and why I focus right now on lifting heavier weights more often as an aging female athlete. But ketone increases mitochondria glutathione levels, feeding the mitochondria better and leading to more rapid recovery between exercise sessions. So I have been actually, it'd be interesting to look at this study to nowadays, because this is 2022 and this is from 2018 with HVMN ketone IQ. So that is showing it helps performance, having that alternate fuel to glucose, because glucose sometimes will spike your blood sugar up if you're having a high sugary snack during your workout, but also gives you that ketone IQ, gives you a little extra boost for mental focus and clarity, especially if you're doing an adventure race or cycling where you have to really focus. but also they're showing for recovery as well. So good to look into on my other follow-up podcast with Lat from HVMN. Okay, so for doing the 5-day jump start, this is what we do. Again, we're going to time it with exercise, so it's a low intensity workout week. We're having a type of shake, protein and fat. So maybe from Dr. Bickman's program, Health Code. Maybe we're using keto, chow. Maybe you're doing Keon. I give people different options because everyone's taste buds are different. I like people to focus on getting their bone broth in. I prefer Bonafide Provisions because I know it's quality sourced and it tastes good. So goal to hit around 50 grams of carbs per day to balance out blood sugar. If we're measuring ketones, it might not show up the first few weeks, but maybe you're going 0.5. I just like to see 0.1 to 0.5 up to 1 if we're measuring with Keto Mojo, or I use BioSense to measure if I have burning fat or carbs. So drinking half our body weight in ounces of water today per day is a goal for hydration, but having that with electrolytes. So drinking in some sea salt or element or some ancient minerals. Or we also use Quinton hypertonic in the morning, and isotonic is suggested for evening. I love people to do herbal detox drink as we want to give love to our liver. So milk thistle, turmeric, dandelion, those are great to drink throughout the day. I love Dr. Axe years ago created this, well, he didn't create it probably, but apple cider vinegar in water, hot or cool. And you can add cayenne pepper and lemon and maybe cinnamon, but you can put that into hot or cool water and drink that throughout the day. And apple cider vinegar has a ton of recipes or a ton of benefits and different ways to eat it or drink it. Avoid inflammatory foods. Of course, alcohol we're going to avoid for the 30 days, sugar, processed foods, GMO, soy, corn, peanuts, gluten, grains. So no caffeine or alcohol. Ideally, for doing a detox, exercise the 30 minutes per day, but then we want to move throughout the day. So getting our movement mobility, getting up every hour or something, and maybe doing 10 squats, doing those little movement snacks. And the strength training we want to get in. So, and then sleeping. We want to prioritize sleeping, going to bed, creating a sleep hygiene routine. So we talk about that and sending that timer so getting up. So intermittent fasting, tons of research on that over the years, but we are wanting to get that, depending on the athlete, males can maybe go 16-8, females 16-8, 15 hours. Ben Greenfield and others, we talk about doing 12, 15 hours for athletes, female athletes, especially during their second half of their cycle. So not fasting really long. If you want to do a longer fast, female athletes need to time it on their lower intensity rest days and doing that fast like day 5 to day 14. So after your cycle ends, you're bleeding, and then before ovulation or right after ovulation. So we want to look at your heart rate variability. We want to look at your resting heart rate. So good information to track. I like to use Oura Ring or people like Whoop. And I'm practicing with Hanu Health using their strap and really testing my heart rate variability. So we want to keep it simple. I'm finding people that I work with, clients, are trying so hard. And I think they make it harder and more stressful and get overwhelmed. And so I'm trying to keep things simple. Just eat in an 8-hour window to 10 hours and focus on eating real food. And then maybe we work on dialing down the carbs and looking at how they feel, but not eating all that entire time. If we can have 2 meals or 3 meals, and during my 5-day jumpstart, those meals are liquid, doing a shake and the bone broth, and then we have 1 main meal. But really looking at bioindividuality, testing, as I said, with glucose, ketone meters, to figure it out. But I think we don't really get that motivation if we don't have those numbers to show, am I doing the right thing for me? Because I'm an individual. So we're just kind of guessing how much we should have, but really to dial in your nutrients and timing of food. I think using Keto Mojo, BioSense, or CGM as NutriSense really helps. So with the phase 1, we're going to do 1 meal for 5 days, focusing on as much protein, healthy fats, and vegetables as you need to feel full and satiated. I like to eat like at 2 or 3 o'clock because that fills me up for the evening, and maybe I have a shake depending on my workout day. And then up to that, maybe you start breaking your fast in the morning, having bone broth, having apple cider vinegar drink mix, have a protein shake, maybe the health code that has the protein and the fat in it, or keto chow, or make a Kion, or Equip has Equip. I like, they have this unsweetened, because I don't do stevia very well. So I'm trying to eliminate anything with stevia, monk fruit, or erythritol. So, which is hard, but that can help doing their Equip bone broth protein, and then make that in a shake, taste better with some sunflower nut butter, some maca, some adaptogens, mushrooms. So 5-day meal plan, basically what we're doing is a shake, getting our probiotics, having the main meal in the afternoon, and then just drinking your calories in your 8-hour window, apple cider vinegar, having the herbal tea, bone broth. And it's amazing how much full you feel like I'm not eating anything, but you can eat as much as you want. Just eat in that 8-hour window, having one meal, and then get your calories from the liquids. So we're kind of just giving us a awareness of how we eat, why we eat, and figuring out when, and listening to our body when we're hungry, but also giving your body, digestive system, and your liver a little support, little vacation. So what to eat, again, kind of talked about this already, but getting healthy fat, vegetables, protein into your meal that makes you feel full. Avocado, coconut oil, ghee, fish oils. I have ghee on there twice. But grass-fed butter is Kerrygold. Prepared wild caught fish, salmon. That's great. Organic eggs, getting the egg yolk. Though I'm finding a lot of people can't do eggs when we do their food test, so you may need to pay attention how eggs make you feel. A test that I have people do is called the pulse test, or cocoa pulse test, that if you take your pulse before heart rate, and then put a food as your egg on your mouth and your tongue, and then see what your heart rate is. I think it's 30 seconds afterwards is your heart rate going up, and then just track that. That can be inflammatory food. So a good way, look up cocoa pulse test to figure out how to test food sensitivities on you with just your heart rate. Also, heart rate variability will go up too, but it's really hard to nail down which food you ate that's causing stress in your body, unless you do individually. Okay, 2 to 3 days of the jump start. We want healing bone broth, 3 to 6 cups a day. Vegetable broth, if you don't do all that, you can actually, I kind of combine that together in some spices, put some MCT oil or coconut oil or ghee in my broth to make it more filling, spice it up. Organic vegetable juice, trying to eliminate fruit. This if you have blood sugar issues, but maybe some celery, cucumber juice with lemon, I like to do. And apple cider vinegar, I said. Dr. Axe used to have this keto feast shake that had a ton of nutrition in it, but they don't have that anymore in the store. So I think you might be able to find it online. And then just doing kind of a self-care week, self-care, self-love, taking ownership of your health, nature walk, doing infrared sauna is great. If you can do hot, cold showers, we'll do. Really looking at that benefits of the healthy lifestyle. So intermittent fasting, you'll probably have already heard all this before, the benefits of it. And my argument would be doing it too much, too long for athletes, because most of you listening are like me, that we are working out and we tend to do everything too much. So I used to do intermittent fasting, OMAD, and really found that if you don't listen to your body and time your fasting, not doing it your luteal phase for women, we need to really find the best time of fasting for our body. So just experiment, but there is benefits, but it's timing that for an athlete and timing it differently for a female athlete. So intermittent fasting helps reset your body to use fat as primary fuel. It helps normalize ghrelin, the hunger hormone. It promotes human growth hormone a lot more in females and men, which helps with the aging process. Human growth hormone is also fat burning hormone. It says to help explain why fasting is effective for weight loss. But remember, fasting too long, like 12, 15 hours should be kind of a normal thing. But doing the prolonged fasting too much when you already are stressing your body too frequently every day in life stress and exercise stress and too low of calorie stress. Remember, think about what Jay Feldman's saying and Rob Wolf is saying, too much of anything, as I say too, can cause stress. So really finding the right duration of fasting for you, the athlete, and again, the female athlete, timing it to your hormone cycle. Menopausal women are going to be more like a man's hormones with fasting. So it's not as stressful, but if you're premenopausal, be careful with that. So I give clients some ideas, what to eat, and we talk about why we need to detox. I think it's important before you start doing a big fat loss program is to make sure, is my liver working to detoxify, eliminate the toxins? So think phase 1 detox pathways to phase 2, and then phase 3 is our drainage pathways. So livers, bowels, skin, respiratory system, lymphatic system, kidneys, and bladder are all involved in the organs of elimination. But phase 1 and phase 2 need the right nutrients. So that's why we want glutathione and really support the liver with that dandelion, the milk thistle, and getting our liver working, but having a binder as energy bits, recovery bits, having GI detox. I give activated charcoal, different ones for clients, doing lymphatic flow, doing the rebounder, dry brushing, really getting our liver working, because guess what? Fat cells have our toxins. Toxins are stored in fat cells. So if we start to do a fat loss program, but our liver is congested, and if you start to do a high fat program and you don't have the right gallbladder liver bile flow, well, you're not digesting your fats. You're not getting your liver to detoxify. So all those toxins will be recirculated in the body. So we have this toxic overload. And I must add, a lot of clients have their GI map tested or Genova GI test, and they have high levels of LPS. Now, I want to have Karan come back from Microbiome Labs to talk about that, because LPS, endotoxicity, you are toxic, and having that high levels of LPS in your body can be related to all sorts of other insulin resistance and health issues. So we want to support detoxification. As I said, hot, cold showers, think Tabata, 20 seconds hot or 20 seconds cold, 10 seconds hot, alternate back and forth. If you can do colon hydrotherapy, if you can do coffee enema, walking throughout the day, doing your bouncing exercises for lymph flow, all that's super essential to helping our body detoxify. So we work on removing toxins from our environment, from our diet. We consume liver detoxifying foods like the herbal detox tea, but as I said, milk thistle, turmeric, and dandelion are super powerful, but also detoxing our emotions. Emotions directly affect organs like frustration, our resentment, forgiveness, anger. The emotions we carry can really be toxic on our body, and toxins overload the liver. So remember that, because a lot of clients I work with, it ends up being a therapy session and dealing with their why. Let's get to the root triggers of our relationship with food and why we feel a certain way. So we kind of work on that onion, peeling layers of the onion off to get to what's really going on. Also, eating liver. As I said, I'm not a nose to tail organ meat person, but I will do Paleo Valley organ capsules, or there's ancestral supplements. And then consuming foods that cleanse the liver, like sprouts. I like those microgreens that you can get at the grocery stores and farmers market, but the broccoli sprouts and not citronella, the C word, citra, whatever the other one is that you put on tacos. So cilantro. There we go. Cilantro. I knew it was there. Okay. And then lastly, the apple cider vinegar drink, why it helps. Lemon juice helps balance blood sugar and alkaline effect to help regulate pH. Cinnamon is a great antioxidant, but helps balancing the blood sugar. Cayenne pepper helps the blood pressure and increases metabolism. Stevia, I don't like, so I wouldn't suggest that, but some people can do it. Apple cider vinegar is full of enzymes and good bacteria, helps lower blood pressure, helps blood sugar regulation, and a ton of other benefits. So glass of water, 2 tablespoons apple cider vinegar, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, a dash of cayenne pepper is optional. Blend it all together. Now you can do that warm, hot, or cold. Stevia to taste, but I say avoid stevia. And then the keto shakes or keto feast, Dr. Axe or some other companies have some good options. Just read the ingredients. So we focus on prioritizing. This is why I do more private coaching, because everyone's so different, but we'll do this in our group. Movement, sleeping, disconnect, unplug, gratitude journal. This is a long list of things that we kind of look at talking about. And then just working on our lifestyle habits, moving more throughout the day, stop focusing on just food all day, just getting more activity sometimes helps people. Having a hot, cold shower in the morning. I've been doing a cooler shower at night because it's been warmer out. So it helps me sleep, having a cold room and doing cold. So, looking at that. So example of a day, then I'm going to wrap up. Wake up, alarm clock. Without an alarm clock, ideally, make your bed. First thing you accomplish today is making that bed. Drink warm water with apple cider vinegar, lemon, and cinnamon. Then you're going to go out for a fasted morning walk. Maybe do some stretching, mobility, some yoga, some movement, maybe some little bit of intervals. And then have your hot, cold contrast shower. Mid-morning, when you start to feel hungry, make a shake and have that with maybe frozen avocado, some nut butter, sunflower butter, having it with some ice and water in it. You don't need to add all the berries and everything else to it. I think people add way too much in their shakes. So keeping it simple. And then strength training with some cardio intervals. Maybe you're doing that mid-morning after the kids go to school, or maybe your lunch break, or maybe 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon before dinner. Figure that out, what works best for you in your life. Having a green drink with, celery, maybe you do celery, cucumber, lemon, maybe put some flaxseed oil, olive oil in it. You can blend it and then strain it and pour it over a glass so you don't get all the stuff in it. Main meal, maybe it's late lunch or early dinner, like 4 o'clock, 2 o'clock, somewhere in there. After you eat, go for a walk. Even if it's 2 minutes, just get moving. Walk 10 minutes if you can. And then just make sure you hydrate throughout the day. If you can, do infrared sauna, cold therapy somewhere. Maybe you have a sauna. Bone broth throughout the day, eating in that 8-hour window, adding some seasoning to it is what I do. And then before your bed, sleep hygiene routine is huge for people. Getting off the computers, get off your social media, get off your cell phone, read a book in bed. Hopefully you're in bed by 10. That means start winding down at 8, stop eating after 7. So we have this sleep hygiene routine most people need to work on, writing in a journal before bed. 3 things I'm grateful for. Making sure your room is dark and cold. It's around 65 degrees. You're not having any flashing lights. I sleep with a face mask on because it's bright outside. So I like to sleep mask. And no emails, texting, social media. I think it's really important to set boundaries when you are responding to texts. I would turn off your phone and put it in airplane mode, put it downstairs in the kitchen to charge, ideally not in your bedroom unless you have family or kids. You need to hear a certain phone ring. You can set that up. And then lastly, digestion. I talk all the time about what we eat, how, when, why, but eating slowly. I see people try to do these programs and change what they're eating. It's not a diet, it's a reset. And we work on the 21-day program where we're working on eating real food. But taking your time, take a 1 minute to breathe. Inhale through your nose, longer exhale, maybe out through your mouth. 1 minute. Just do that before you eat. Maybe it's giving gratitude. If you pray, do a little prayer, thankful for the food on your plate kind of thing. What works for you? Eating slowly, small bites, and chewing 20 times before you put another bite in your mouth. I see a lot of people shoveling their food, rushing when they're eating. If you are in sympathetic fight or flight or freeze, you're not going to digest your food. Parasympathetic nervous system is the rest and digest and detoxify state. So how you eat, super important. Taking digestive enzymes. I like BioOptimizer, Masszymes. I like taking their magnesium at nighttime, but having the HCl to help break down protein a lot of people need with that solid meal. So pay attention to how you are eating, not multitasking. You're focused and being present. Eating healthy fats and getting rid of the bad fats is really important in getting real food. So stop here, but there's lots more information on my website, debbiepotts.net. You can find all this information in an ebook. And if you want to take part in my program, I am running one October 15th. It's 30 days, phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. We'll go through and have a weekly call, but we'll go into this a little bit more. So think about improving your health, starting with your digestion, your liver, your gut health, and really work on food is medicine and learning what to eat, when and why and how you can improve all this. So this is what we want to work on, getting our mind right, getting the holistic method, and really learning how we can feel our best, look our best, and perform our best. And I think this in between seasons is great time to do it. So thanks, guys. If you have more questions, just head to debbiepotts.net, and I'd love to hear from you and add any comments on my show notes under podcast on debbiepotts.net or below. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to the Low Carb Athlete Podcast. If you have any questions, feedback, or topic suggestions, let us know on Facebook or at debbiepotts.net. You can help us to continue to grow by leaving a review on iTunes. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.